All right, gang. Welcome aboard. We're going to give this one more try this evening. See if we got all the technical kinks worked out. Welcome to the October 24th, 2016 edition of the Weekly Mac Forum video chat. As usual, we'll have a couple of bits and pieces of forum roundup type things, a couple of threads that might be interesting to you. And then we'll move into one or two pieces of Mac related news, as well as I've got three different iPhone iOS 10 tips for you this evening. They're iPhone oriented, but they should also be helpful if you're running any of the iOS devices that are on iOS 10. One of the tips I know works in older editions of the iPhone operating system as well. So let's get right into things. First of all, welcome, as you can see, to our newest member as of about an hour and a half ago, was Dark Horse 0317. Welcome to them and to all of our new members that have joined in the last week. I want to encourage you, if you've been lurking for a while, as you can see from this page, we got a lot of lurkers. Want to encourage you to join, especially if you think you're going to need to ask a question, because that's the only way that you can get to ask a question on the forum. It doesn't cost you anything, and you'll find a lot of knowledgeable people ready to help. So let's get right into some of that knowledge and see what we can find for this week. First of all, I want to mention this in particular. Remember, Curly Mac, as you can see from here, was looking for a way to share a family photo album across Mac, iPad, PC, and iOS devices. So you have to look at, when you're trying to go across multiple devices like that, what's the best way to do it. And this particular user didn't like using iPhoto or Photos to do it. They had experimented with Lightroom, but really, as a couple of our members have suggested, the solution here probably is to go with some type of online cloud-based system. You could, in theory, use iCloud, but there are others out there that would work as well. Amazon's got some photo space, and there are other systems as well where you can share the files, the photo files, and then send a link to someone, and they will then have access to the to those files. Now, there are a couple things I want to mention that you might want to think about as you're doing this. First of all, if you are on a limited bandwidth type of account, or you have a slow connection, if you're uploading a lot of photos or doing this on a regular basis, this can get very bandwidth intensive depending on the photos, number of photos, and the size of the files. And also keep in mind, one of the things that I personally would want to check into if I were doing this is what degree of control you have in terms of privacy. In other words, there may be some folders or files that you only want to share with the family members or certain members of the family. Do they give you control of that? Some of these services do. Some of them offer a certain amount of free space. And so there are a lot of things to think about here. I recommend keeping an eye on this thread. This type of thread, usually there's been some additions to it in the last the last day or so. This type of thread will probably get revived and discussed numerous times. So keep an eye on that as these things change. There are a number of these services out there. I personally miss Mobile Me for this. I know iCloud has some of the capabilities of Mobile Me, but I personally missed Mobile Me for doing things like this. It was easy. The file space was limited to a certain extent, but it was an easy thing to manage and an easy way to easy thing to explain to someone. So before you commit to a service, do some homework, ask a lot of questions, check out their privacy, and see if you can find something that meets your needs. All right, let's move on to another tip here. This is from MVP17 David, a forum member who he was having some issues with the forum not behaving correctly. Links in the forum would sometimes not behave correctly. Control clicking, command click, these kinds of things were not working correctly. And he got a number of suggestions back from various forum members to try as far as browser settings and the like. And yesterday, he posted back with a note that he had a resolution to the problem. And thank you. I see he's from Great Britain. Thanks for posting this back. It turns out that in his case, the culprit was something called Adobe Tag Management Beacon Tracker. There are a number of websites